Hi all and welcome to Tech Times. In this tutorial, we'll go in depth of Kafka topics, partitions and brokers. So let's start with Kafka topics first. So Kafka topic is just a named representation of messages, like a category to a different messages, so that we can differentiate all the messages. We just give a name to them. So like we have sales data, we have HR data, so we can name the topic as sales, we can name it as HR, and we can distinguish between them. And so it is just a named representation. As a consumer or a producer, you don't really care about how topics are distributed across cluster or how they are internally handled. You just publish it or consume it to a specific topic name using the name itself. However, internally they are physically stored on broker in format of logs, which I will show you in later in this course. Let's take a look at here. We have few brokers, consumers and producers. So the task of producer is to produce messages to a topic, and how it is managed internally is none of its concern. Similarly, consumers can consume messages from a topic. Now if you look at the figure here, all the messages are appended to a topic and internally it contains multiple partitions. Let's not focus on partitions as of now and understand topic in context of a single partition. All the messages are appended sequentially. All these messages are immutable. What that means is once this message is written into a topic, it can't be changed. If you need to change the content of that message, then you have to send the corrected message to the same topic, but that is the responsibility of the consumer to handle it. So it will be an additional message to that topic. So Kafka won't differentiate between the wrong message and the right message. Each message, if it is wrong, then it is the responsibility of the producer and consumer to correct it. Now let's understand what is included in each message at a high level. Each message will internally contain a timestamp at which the message has arrived at the broker. Then it has a unique identifier assigned to each message so that it can identify that message across cluster. This is also called as offset, and this is very important in terms of consumers to maintain the state of consumption in case of consumer failure. So these details will go later in this course. And of course we will have actual content of that message. So we have a wrapper around that with the timestamp, offset, and then an actual message as well. So let's understand what is a consumer offset. So each offset is like a last read position for a specific consumer in Kafka. It is responsibility of a consumer to maintain the offset information. Now if you look at this image, there are three partitions: partition 0, partition 1 and partition 2. Now internally this is a single topic itself, so it's not like we have three partitions, which means that a message 0, message 0, message 0. These are not copies of message 0. They are different messages on different partitions. So that is replication is a different topic, so we will cover that as well. But now let's understand, this is, suppose we have three messages published, it can go to partition 0 0th position, partition 1 0th position, and partition 2 0th position. So three different messages kept at 0 position here. So if we consider in context of just partition 0 here, so what partition 0 has is number of messages which will keep on appending to that partition. Now if we want to read any message from partition, there are two options available. Either we can read it from message 0, or that is start of that partition messages, or we can start at any point of time, that is last offset which is available. That is, if you can see, it is 1 to whatever it is. So if we start reading it from beginning, then it will read it sequentially. It will read 0, it will read 1, then 2, 3, 4. If we stop here, consumer fails or something like that. So how we will know that where the consumer is? We either have two options: we can start it from the beginning, or we don't have any other option. We have to manually pass any offset unique identifier that will start that messages from anywhere we want to read. So the best way for these kind of situations is to store the offset. So once we have read this 0 and processed it, store it somewhere on consumer side or on Zookeeper, that this message is read and processed. So if we are at 4th position and the consumer fail, we know that we have read till 4, and from next time we will start reading it from 5th and we'll process those messages. So this is very important offset because we are dealing with streaming data, and this is very critical when we are processing streaming data, that we know what is the state of application and we maintain that state somewhere on our anywhere on our local machine or somewhere like that. So these are two options, and these are various partitions available. So these are basically then identified to the offset. So once we have read all the messages and there are no new messages coming to the partition, then the consumer will wait for new messages to arrive. Once new messages arrive at any topic, then broker will notify that new messages are arrived at the topic to consumer, and consumer will start reading messages from there. I hope this has cleared you what exactly partition and topic is. We'll cover partition in more details later in these sessions, but as of now you should be clear on what topic is. Now let's understand the message retention policy. It's not like we can keep all the messages for infinite time, because the messages are stored physically on the broker machine and we don't want to overburden the physical storage of the machine. So by default there is 7 days of retention policy given by that is there on Kafka, so that if the messages are not consumed in 7 days, the messages will be deleted. So by default it is 7 days, and all the messages are stored. If the consumer has read it or not, the messages will be stored, that it won't be deleted unless its retention policy has expired, the number of days that retention policy has expired. So, and this retention policy is at a topic level. It is not at a cluster level, so that all the messages will expire in 7 days. For each topic we can set different retention policies, and we have to decide what should be your retention policy for your project or something like that. So you have to consider physical storage, what is available, so how much data is arriving every second, and for how long you can keep that messages, so that your physical storage doesn't get full. So that consideration and that you have to evaluate based on your project requirement. Now let's understand Kafka partitions. So each topic can have one or more partitions, and these partitions can reside on single broker or on multiple brokers. Now remember, a single partition cannot reside on multiple brokers. It has to be on single broker itself. So multiple partitions can reside on multiple brokers. So if a topic has 3 partitions and we have 3 brokers, then each broker will carry a single partition of that topic. Now partition at a partition level, we can achieve high throughput and fault tolerance as well. So let's understand with this figure here. So we can have a single topic, and a single topic can have multiple partitions from 0 to n, whatever partitions. So these number of partitions at the topic level is mentioned at creation of topic itself. So let's see here at a command below. So it has a Kafka topics shell, and we are passing in Zookeeper information. We have passed replication factor. So this I will cover later, and we are mentioning here the partitions. So now we have mentioned a partition as 1. So if we mention partition as 1, then a topic will be created and a single partition will be added on any of the broker and the topic name. So internally, if you see under temp Kafka logs, whenever we create any topic or partition, there is a log file created in backend. So this is mentioned in the server properties as well. If you have not seen my you can see this in my previous videos as well. So in that we mention where the logs will be created. So if you see here, the temp Kafka logs and the topic name and the partition name. So if we create one topic with a single partition, then in backend it will create a directory structure like temp Kafka logs test Bharat, which is the topic name, and 0, which is the partition. Now if you create multiple, then it will create test Bharat 1, 2, 3, like that. So this is how the data is actually stored on any broker for at a partition level. Now suppose we have created a topic with 3 partitions, then it will have 3 partition 0, partition 1 and partition 2. So whenever publisher is publishing any messages, so based on whatever partitioning scheme it is using, the producer is using, it will publish the message all 3 partitions. So, suppose we have a basic round robin fashion, then it will publish first message here, second message here, third message here, then again it will go and publish first message, so that there is a consistency and the workload is distributed equally among all 3 partitions. So while publishing, that we follow some round robin scheme, and while consuming as well, we can utilize these 3 partitions and consume messages in parallel. Now there are some partitions trade-off as well. So it's not like we can increase the number of partition, it will increase number of parallelism and give more benefits. There are some drawbacks of giving more number of partitions as well for a topic. So first drawback is like it increases the overhead on Zookeeper, because the Zookeeper maintains the metadata of all the cluster. If we increase number of partition for each topic, it increases an overhead on Zookeeper. So this can be resolved by increasing the capacity of Zookeeper as well. So that is one drawback. Second drawback is the messaging order. So the messaging orders of the message is maintained at a partition level. Now if there are multiple messages being published at different partitions, the order is maintained at a partition level itself. So global order will not be there. At a topic level, we won't be having any order. So if you want to maintain that order at a topic level, either you create a topic with single partition so that the order of the messages is maintained, or we can handle it at a consumer level as well. The last drawback is that if we increase number of partitions under a topic, then the time for a failover as well increases. If a partition fails, then the time it takes to recover that partition, that also increases if we increase number of partitions. Now let's understand what is replication factor that we mentioned at start while creating of the topic itself. So replication factor is the number of copies we keep or a single partition. Now let's take an example. This will help you to achieve reliability. So let's take an example now. We have 3 brokers, we have 1 topic, and we have 3 partitions. Now if we start publishing messages, so 3 partition will reside on 3 different brokers. Now if at any point of time one broker fails, so internally Zookeeper will take care and it will start that topic partition on a different broker. But what about the messages which were stored on that broker? So it will get lost. In future, whatever messages will come, it will start publishing on 2 brokers with 3 partitions, but whatever messages that were stored on that broker will be lost. So to avoid this kind of scenarios, we can use replication factor. What replication factor will do is it will replicate the data, or it will duplicate the data for a single partition on different brokers. So this is what we have in distributed environment, so that we don't lose any data. So if we have 3 partitions and if we mention replication factor as 3, then it will have 9 copies of it. So for each partition there will be 3 copies. Now if on a single if you have 3 brokers, then each of them will contain 1 copy of each partition. So now don't get confused with the partition and the replicas. Replica is just a duplicate copy of each partition, but partitions are at the topic level. So if a topic has 3 partitions, then there will be 3 copies of that partition. Then at each partition we will be having a duplicate copies as well, so that we have a fault tolerance achieved. So let me show you with actually how it works in a backend. Now here if you see the first command, I have created a topic replica demo with, I have given the zookeeper, I have given replication factor as 3, and I have created 3 partitions. Now if I describe this topic, so there is a shell command and can just give describe here and topic name and the zookeeper name. If you see here, there is topic name is replica demo, partition count is 3, replication factor is 3, and here you can see the topic name is there, the partition 0, 1 and 2, and for each partition there will be a leader and there will be some followers. So the leader means the primary partition where the zookeeper will redirect the consumer. So the leader for this partition is stored on broker 0, for partition 1 it is stored on broker 1, and partition 2 it is stored on broker 2. Now we have replicas. So there are 3 replicas should be there for each partition. Now for this, the replicas will be stored on 0, 1, 2. It will be stored, we have only 3 brokers, so internally all those replicas are stored on different brokers. And there is an in sync replica. So what in sync replica means is at any point of time how many replicas are available. So ideal scenario is that replica and in sync replica should be equal. So if it is not there, then zookeeper will automatically try to find out some broker and it will try to replicate it. So ideally these two should be same. So now if you see the in sync replica is 0, that is leader 0, this is our leader, that is 0, then there we have 1 and we have 2. So for partition 0 we have 1 replica on broker 0, 1 replica on broker 1 and 1 replica on broker 2. Now most in sync is replica on broker 1 with broker 0, and the last one is broker 2. Now let's say if any of our broker fails, so suppose our broker 2 fails, in that case if you now describe our topic, it will show you that there are 3 partitions 0, 1 and 2, but now you can see the leader for partition 0 is on broker 0, leader for partition 2 is also on broker 0, and leader for partition that is a copy of that partition is on broker 1. So now if you see here, earlier it was on leader was on broker 2, now it is on broker 0. Internally it has adjusted that. And if you see the in sync replica as well now, so in sync replica has changed as well. So dependency on broker 2, because your broker 2 is down now, so it has reduced. Now if our broker 1 also fails, so in that case if you see all the partitions are on broker 0 now and replicas as well on broker 0. So this is not an ideal scenario. In this case we are not even replicating anything. So if our broker 0 fails now, all our data is lost. I hope this has explained you everything about partitions, brokers and topic. In our coming sessions, I will go through in details of consumers and producers. So stay tuned to your channel and like, share and subscribe. Thank you.